founded members and authorities of Faculty of Management Studies, Department of Management of University of Lucknow, the Head and Dean, Professor Sangeeta Sahuji, my fellow colleagues, my Pro-Vice-Chancellor, respected Deans of Faculty of Commerce, Faculty of Arts, Head Department of Commerce, Department of Applied Economics, other officials of the university, very esteemed faculty members of this newly founded Faculty of Management Studies, and our very, very dear research scholars. When the Head and Dean, Professor Sangeeta Sahuji, asked me to come, and they wanted to hold some felicitation on the occasion of foundation of this Faculty of Management Studies, they wanted to hold it with the students. I thought probably new first year students of management have already joined, but then I was told that that is in the process, so it's second year student. I said, then let me speak to the research scholars. I always have had a very, very deep rooted relationship and emotional connect with research scholars, because probably they are the most dicey characters in any educational setup. Why do I say so? Because they cease to exist as a student, they have yet to become a faculty member. They perform the job of a student and also perform the job of a faculty member. तो क्लास में आपको छुट्टी लेनी है तो आप कहते हैं अपने रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को गो एंड टेक क्लासेस. एग्जाम की ड्यूटी करानी है, you ask your research scholars to go and conduct the examination, perform invigilation, but they do not have any recognition. So I always have had a very, very strong emotional relationship with those. I've always been finding it to be a very, very empathetic relationship with research scholars. So I said, madam, why don't you invite your research scholars along with your faculty members? I've already interacted with your second year students at the time of their orientation last year. So I just wanted to congratulate all these stakeholders of this newly founded Faculty of Management Studies. But now that I've said, the lady said I have got to share some word of wisdom. So I would not be leaving the opportunity to share the wisdom that I think I have. And it is important to take it from where the Dean Faculty of Management left. When you join, you always have got a very, very emotional relationship with the subject that you have been living all through these years. So this concept has always been there ever since I joined this institution as Vice-Chancellor. In a formal setup, it does take a little time. This process also took a little time, but finally it saw light of the day. And now you are a faculty upgraded from the status of department. Another very important thing that came in the process was that you were Department of Business Administration. This is Department of Management. Now, business education moved beyond being business education. And today you talk of management education, which is all-inclusive, all-pervasive. So, majority of modern researchers are not essentially confined to the business setup. Many of you might be working on the management of a higher educational institution. So, it has moved beyond the premise of business. It moved beyond the premise of administration or governance. There have been some very small micro conceptual constructs came in. On the other hand, it has become very, very comprehensive, very, very enormously wide to address. So there was always a need for this. You all have heard of Society 4.0, isn't it? You must have heard of Society 5.0. You must have read the difference why this Society 4.0 moved to become Society 5.0. It was largely because of infusion of human element with technology. Hence, the entire industry was also redesigned and it emphasized upon as to what Industry 4.0 is going beyond. So it was largely the human centricism and the human element being infused into the professional setup, into the processes. And what I'm very seriously sharing this because this is what we have been practicing during the management of this educational institution. It's a huge institution with over 22,000 plus students on campus, with close to 4 lakh students in our colleges, 550 plus colleges with us, ensuring admission to examination to coming up with extremely updated and modern and dynamic curricula across variety of spectrum in 49 departments and 17 institutes. This was possible only with infusion and emphasis on this human element, coupling it with technology, placing it into a process. Now, with this Society 5.0 and this Industry 5.0, we have to reinvent our Education 5.0 as well. Now, what this reinvention of Education 5.0 has to be? Very senior academic administrators of this great seat of learning are also present here. And I'm wanting to address to the future academicians who are sitting right here in the hall. What you have got to do in your research, and once you become a professional, faculty, researcher or educator, what we are going to think of is how can modern conceptions be upscaled to produce processes which is not just tech-based but also is hugely human-centric. Till you emphasize upon this human-centricism, till you focus on the individuals on either side of the table, you as an educator and your student being the receiver, you will never be able to create a system that will be befitting for this Industry 5.0 or Society 5.0. But then, why I am saying all this is because this migration from being a Department of Business Administration to becoming Department of Management Studies and then subsequently getting upgraded to Faculty of Management Studies is part of the whole journey to enable us to reach that outcome and the consequence for which we all are here. We all are here to make our today better than what it was yesterday and make our tomorrow better than what it is today. What all we are doing is part of this whole journey. But what after becoming Faculty of Management Studies? I don't want to be very serious, but then if, say for example, for faculty, many of you must have been taking classes in BCom, which many of you very often have been complaining me of also. Now that you are shedded with this responsibility of taking classes at BCom level, what will that extra time give to the institution? This has to be put into strengthening the faculty. Now, what can be done? So, of course, it is a very important tool with respect to having greater flexibility, having greater authority, but then with any authority comes enormous responsibility. Now, what these responsibilities are? First of all, our responsibility lies with our students. First and foremost, with our students. So, what we are going to do is, can we come up with something that may add meaning to this erstwhile DOBA, to the newly founded DOM or FMSLU? And in what forms can this be? Can we think of our own accreditation? There are a variety of accreditations available for management institutions. AACSB, ITWIS, AMBA. I don't think any of, except for IIM, any institution in the state of Uttar Pradesh with a population of close to 24 crores, having management institutions in excess of 250 at least, वो संख्या शायद 500 के ऊपर भी हो सकती है. So except for IIMs, are there any institution? Now in your case, while I was thinking of, you have 3 sections of MBA with 180 multiplied by 2 will be 360. Total faculty strength close to 20. So that way your FSR would be 16, 15, 17. With such a decent FSR and with very knowledgeable faculty base, very experienced faculty base, can we think of having our own accreditation for our own faculty? Can we think of? Will this not bring you premier in the league of management institution? Because we always have got to think of that management education is always classified into 2 categories. There are 2 sets of structures available for management education. One is the B school model and other is the management university department model. आप नाम दे दो उसका, इंस्टीट्यूट दे दो, फैकल्टी दे दो, डिपार्टमेंट दे दो, but one is the university setup where your certain degree of freedom is restricted by the boundaries laid by the institution, by the university, or the autonomous B school model. Being into the setup, into the framework, working into the framework of industry, can we become a B school within the system? This faculty creation was actually part in that direction. This has nothing to do with कि एक department को faculty बना दो. This is part, as I've said, is aimed at achieving certain set of outcome for the greater good of the student, for the greater good of the teachers, for the greater good of the university. So can we think of its own accreditation? Can we have specific subject-wise ranking, figure into specific subject-wise ranking, maybe in NIRF or QS or other leading rankings, where they have subject-specific rankings for engineering, for management, for law, for pharmacy, for certain specific subject category, agriculture. And it is doable for this faculty because you have 100% faculty strength. We created 4 positions also, even those are filled. You have good infrastructure, you have backing of a very sound and very highly rated university with majority of the support available. So can't you think of having your own ranking and accreditation exclusively for this faculty? Can you think of developing short-term programs which is industry specific? Now you do not have to go to कि अपना बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज बनाओ, फिर कहीं के फैकल्टी बोर्ड में जाओ, फिर कहीं के कुछ और जाओ और फिर उसके बाद वेट करो वो. So lot of freedom, lot of flexibility have been infused by developing this faculty of management studies. So if there are, Professor Medhavi is into the area of IT or operations. I know, where is Kaushalji? He's into this operations and QT area, or Professor Ritu Naran into the area of marketing. The head and dean, Professor Sangeeta herself, is into the area of HR, and different people have got different area of expertise. Can't you have your own program? Industry-specific programs, industry-sponsored programs into the area. Now you do not have to go anywhere. As I've said, in the last historic academic council has provided you enough of leeway to have your own programs, industry-specific programs, your own programs for entrepreneurs, for industry professionals, for even faculty members. So these society-needed programs should be contemplated upon and should be created and developed and sustained. I certainly want to talk, while talking to these research scholars of the faculty, what is happening with the majority of research publications of management institutions is that we are pursuing our research looking into the publication prospects. You are not at fault, but somehow this management education is being treated like that. But then, I'm telling you, the publication prospects will essentially not only be guided by techniques, because now the technique is available with everyone. So the point of distinction ceases. Earlier, when many people were not aware of all these high-end sophisticated statistical techniques, those who knew would get the chance of getting their work published. Now this is equally available with everyone. In many of the cases, it is also available on outsource model. So, even in terms of the publication prospects, it is important for you to link your research with the society and societal needs. Why should, as I've said, that the business education moved beyond being business-centric. So if it is society-centric and society is all-inclusive, your research also should be all-inclusive. 4 people visited me with the invitation, and I tried to find out what are the areas that they are working on. Now, they are working on some very interesting constructs, but can we find a certain scope for linking those constructs with the need of the society? I'm telling you, that will enhance the publication prospects. I'm so very appreciative of the initiative that this faculty thought of coming up with mass, and I hope this will be a regular phenomena in your case as well. Very important is for the faculty, especially for faculty of management, is that a lot of new innovative schemes in terms of policy formations that the university has contemplated on and has worked also. One such is your professor of practice. The moment it got practiced, I shared with a very senior professional in Mumbai this information, and he volunteered कि साहब हम भी इसको join करेंगे as a professor of practice. So our job as a faculty is to explore such high-end people who can come and contribute for the superior learning of our students and also provide an opportunity for greater collaboration to our faculty members. It is this collaboration that will bring in subsequently greater MDPs, EDPs, other research projects, like your MOU with rediffusion, that is Bharat Lab. I must say that this is probably the most mature and functional MOU that we have in the country today, in the university today. Every 3 months we are coming up with one research report. Most of these research reports are very widely accepted not just in Lucknow but all across the country. In some of the cases, it received front page coverage in leading economic times and the Hindu newspapers. But our job is to mature this. It is our job to mature it. And this is possible when we bring in more professor of practice into our loop. Another important suggestion to the faculty members of this faculty is that you all have to think of increasing internationalization. We have been strongly focusing on. Though we are one of the premier institutions in North India to have received highest number of interest shown by highest number of international students. This year we got 1800 plus from 76 countries. But not all the departments are equally reciprocating the expectation of the foreign students who are coming from abroad. Your faculty has got that promise. This structural change will enable you to initiate strongly, emphasize vividly, to bring in more international students, and for that also we have come up with a scheme of researcher in residence. So can you leverage that? Can you leverage for greater internationalization of your faculty? All these flexibilities are there now available to Faculty of Management Studies of University of Lucknow, which you should try to capitalize upon. I can go on and on and on. I know that this is a moment of celebration. I join your celebration. It has been a very conscious, deliberate and designed effort to institute this structural change in the university in the greater interest of your students and the faculty members. But now the onus lies on you all, how you take it forward, and what subsequent benefits does accrue to this faculty, newly established faculty. It is for you to take a call at. My sincere wishes, and as I have always been, I don't need to say this, I have always been and I will always be in all the possible support that the university and the university administration will be able to deliver. Thank you very much, and again, many congratulations to all of you.